Hi everyone, welcome back. I've got my project pan update video today. So a bit of an exciting one. I finished off 3 items. So I'll talk you through what those empties are, the progress with the other items in my project pan as well. And then because I have some items that stay in my project pan and then some items that I kind of rotate out on a monthly basis, I'm going to talk about the items that are going to be rotated out and then the new ones to come in. So I've got my notepad here in front of me where I keep track of all of my project pan items. So let's start off with the exciting updates, all of my empties. So like I say, I've got 3 empties that I've managed to finish off this month in my project pan, which I'm very pleased about because last month I didn't have any empties. So the first empty is my mini Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. The packaging of this is actually really quite nice because it's entirely flat inside. So I was able to take a sort of beauty spatula and completely sort of get rid of as much of this product that was left over in here as possible. So I have managed to use up all of this product. I finished this up on the 20th and it took me 9 uses of this month to finish off, and I think in total it took me like 2 or 3 months really sort of focusing on this item to completely use it up. I'm not really that impressed with this product. I spoke about this one in my kind of de-influencing popular beauty items video. I don't really get the hype with this. If I wear it all over my face, it just makes my face look really shiny and it highlights texture and pores. It is nice, it is pretty as like a little standalone highlighter, but I'm not wowed by it. I don't really see in this product what lots of other people do. So one that I am not gonna repurchase, and I am pleased that I have used this up and I am pleased that I only did get it in a mini. So that is my first empty. I'm going to talk about the other 2 empties and then I'll talk about the products that are replacing these empties. So the next empty is another mini, and this is by Benefit. This is the 24-hour brow setter, which is the clear eyebrow gel. I used this up on the 12th and it took me 6 uses, and for quite some time now this has felt very dry. There's been very minimal product left in this, so much so that I had to just get the product that was on the very top of the brush and not actually in the bristles. And I don't think that I have been working on this for too long, so I think it's a fairly easy product for me to use up, and that's because I use this every single time that I wear makeup, regardless of, you know, how dramatic or how natural my makeup is. I have replaced this with the NYX Control Freak, which is what I've got on my brows today. And I used to think that they were kind of on par with each other. I thought that the Control Freak was a really good dupe for this. But actually, having just recently panned this, I really like the 24-hour brow setter. I find that it sort of like sets my brows a lot better than the NYX one. I like that you have those 2 different sized bristles on each side of the brush with this, so you can be a little bit more precise, a bit more defined with your brows. So although this is kind of expensive, I would get this again in the future because I do really like this product. And I have panned these before. I've panned, I'm pretty sure, a big one of these before, or maybe even a mini one, but I think it was a big one. So yeah, a fairly kind of easy product for me to pan, and it's a product that I enjoy using as well. So the next empty is a very exciting one, because if you have seen any of my other project pan videos, if you've been following my project pan for a while, you will know that I have been panning this item for all of last year. It is, or it was, a never-ending item because there just seemed to be more and more product coming out of this. So I'm very happy to say that I have finished this product up. I'll give you a second to kind of ready yourself for a round of applause that I deserve for finishing this product up. This is the NYX eyeshadow base. I have used up, finally used this product up, and like with the Benefit 24-hour brow setter, for quite some time this was feeling like there wasn't much product on it. So you have like a doe foot applicator like you would do for a standard concealer, and for quite some time now I have been like properly scraping this doe foot in the tube, and one eye wouldn't really have much product on and I'd be thinking, yes, I'm really close to using up. I'd go back in to get product for the other eye and there would be a lot of product on the doe foot. So one that has been clinging in there for dear life, but I have been scraping every last little drop of product out of this, and for the past couple months of using this product, my eyeshadow hasn't really kind of looked great over the top of it. So that just goes to show that there was hardly any of this left because it wasn't doing a good job of setting my eyes. So finished this item, very, very happy about that, and I'm now working on my MAC paint pot. However, I'm not that impressed with it. I don't know whether it's because I've had it for quite some time because I was working on this, but I don't feel like the MAC paint pot sort of is that good a base for my eyeshadow. Whereas with this does a fantastic job of setting your eyeshadow. It makes your eyeshadow last all day. I would definitely repurchase this because I think this is about like £8, so you really do get your money's worth, and like I've kind of noticed, it lasts a considerably long amount of time. So I finished this one up on the 15th and it took me 6 uses this month to entirely use it up, but in total I think it took me maybe like 100, no, even more than that, because I have documented how many times that I've used it each month. In total, 230 times to entirely use this product up, and that was after including it in my project pan. So all the times before it being in my project pan that I've used it, so it's taken a minimum of 230 uses to use up. So yeah, what a brilliant product. Honestly, if you are after an eyeshadow primer for a really good price, lasts a long amount of time, and it does a great job of setting your eyeshadow, honestly, the NYX eyeshadow base is just, it's a hero product. Weirdly gonna miss this being in my project pan. But I have new items to roll in, new items that I want to be working on. I really want to like streamline my makeup collection this year. I feel like I've just got too much makeup at the moment. I've gotten to the point now where I'm like, oh, I've got a lot of makeup. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing how much progress I can make with my project pan this year. So the next item that I've put in my project pan, I introduced it on the 13th. I've used it 8 times so far this month. This is a lip gloss, and this is by Kiko. I have 3 Kiko lip glosses, and this is the one that I probably wear the least often, so that's why I've decided to put this one in my project pan. This one, I have it on over the top of this lip liner today. This is a very, very pretty like spring summer coral. It's a light peachy pink coral. It's got a little bit of glitter in there as well, which I don't usually like, but this translates into more of like a shimmer on the lips rather than glittery particles. So a very, very pretty product, and I find panning lip glosses really easy because I can wear them over the top of a lip liner like I've done today, over the top of lip gloss, just on bare lips. So I can wear these on both makeup and non-makeup days as well, and I can reapply these kind of like fairly frequently throughout the day as well, so I do get through it fairly quickly. However, this seems to be pretty full, so I reckon this will be my project pan until sort of like halfway through the year. I don't think I'm going to be panning this in the next couple of months or so. And then the next item I've used 6 times, I introduced it on the 15th, and I've decided to pan my cream blusher. This is by Stila. This is in the shade Lilium. This I originally thought was too cool toned for me, but I have it on today and I can actually warm this up pretty well. This is a really, really pretty blusher, one of my favourites in my collection, but I'm panning it because it's very, very close to being used up. Not used up, sorry, very, very close to being close to its expiry date. It's got a 6-month shelf life, so it's not the longest in terms of shelf life, and I don't really want it to go off. And with things like cream and liquid products, you do have to take that kind of 6 month, 12 month or whatever into consideration. So I'd rather get this out, get it used, get it panned, rather than kind of letting it sit in my makeup drawer not being used that often. This contains 4.25 grams of product, and it's quite a big pan, so I don't think this is particularly deep. So maybe in the next month or 2 I should be able to kind of like hit pan on this, but it is super pigmented though, so I'm not really sure that it's going to be one I'm going to pan very quickly, because it's not really one that I can build up a lot of pigment on. If I'm going to use a brush, I just dip my brush once into it and you get a lot of pigment, so definitely need a light hand with this one, but very, very pretty blusher. I really like this product, and that's how I want my project pan to kind of be this year. I don't want to be panning items that I don't like, items that I just want to get rid of. I want to enjoy the products that I'm panning. Also, I just want to say the washing machine is on, so if you can kind of hear the whirring, that's the washing machine. So next product is another one I have on today. This is a lip liner by Vive in the shade Velvet Sands. This is a really good dupe for MAC Strip Down. I have only used this one 3 times so far this month. I introduced it on the 20th. I like the colour of this. It's a really good nude, warm, peachy brown. It applies really beautifully. It's very creamy, very pigmented, but I do find the texture a bit sticky, so it's not one that I enjoy too much wearing, so I think that's probably why I have only worn it 3 times. There are definitely other lip liners that I prefer, so that really is why I want to pan this one. And I do believe this is my only Vive lip liner, so once I pan this I don't have any other lip liners from Vive. And like with lip glosses, I find panning lip liners quite easy because I can just draw it all over my lips, and it's one that I can keep reapplying throughout the day as well. So hopefully if I can kind of like get over that slightly sticky texture, this should be one that I can pan in a good 2 to 3 months. So hopefully this one won't be around for too much longer. Alright, I'm going to talk about the products now that are going to stay in my project pan until I've completely used them up. The first one I've used 17 times this month, and this is my Fenty powder bronzer in the shade Shady Biz. And I have been saying for quite some time now that I'm really surprised that I haven't hit pan in it. But look, I have a pan! So I finally hit pan in this. It's very, very thin in the middle, so the pan is getting bigger and bigger each time I use it. But like with any sort of circular pan like this, the majority of the product has kind of like built up around the sides. So I'm hoping I'm going to get really good updates on this one each month. Hopefully the pan is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Ideally, I would like to be done with this one sort of like halfway through the year, because it has been in my project pan for like all of last year as well. So as much as I like this product, I am kind of thinking, okay, I'd like to, you know, work a bit more on my Vive powder bronzer. I do have this bronzer on today, and it is a really, really pretty bronzer. I did used to think it was slightly too orange, but actually I've kind of not really thought that recently. I do think this is a really, really pretty bronzer for a light complexion like myself. So I'm still enjoying using this, but do want to kind of see a lot more progress on this month by month. One that I was really hoping to be done with by this update. I'm so close to using this up. You can't even see that, I don't think. But this is my NYX Micro Brow. I've got just the smallest amount of this left. I've probably got about like 2 to 3 uses worth of this product left, so that's really why I was hoping to have like got it done by this update. However, that does mean I will have one empty by next month's update. This is also what I've got in my brows again today. I really like this. I think that it's a really good shade match for me. It's taupe. It's a really like fine pencil as well, so you can be really precise and make your brows look fairly sort of like natural. However, I get through this so incredibly quickly. I've panned these before and they do take a couple of months, so they're not the best in terms of like cost per wear, or however you want to, you know, term it. I do think a pencil or maybe like a tinted brow gel would be better in terms of like longevity, because also then you do have this kind of like plastic waste afterwards. However, it is a really good product and it is one that I am enjoying using, but just really quite kind of annoyed that I'm so close to using this up. But like I say, it will be an empty for next month. Don't know if I said as well, but I used it 22 times last month. So I'm panning my mini Ico Cocoa Edit Brown Liquid eyeliner. I used it 15 times since the last update. This doesn't really sort of seem to be showing any signs of drying up yet, so difficult for me to tell how much longer this one is going to be in my project pan. But I have had it for quite some time. It is past its expiry date, so that's why it's in my project pan, and I don't really, you know, want to waste it. It seems fine to keep using it. However, it is a mini, so it's obviously going to not have a load of product in it, so maybe this month it might start to kind of dry up, but there is no way for me to tell how much product is left in it. But again, it's another one that I do enjoy using. It's got a really fine applicator, a fine tip, so you can be quite precise with your line. However, what I have noticed with this is that there are certain shimmer shades, so like the shimmer shades from ABH Norvina, where this doesn't apply too well over the top. I have to go in with quite a few layers to get the brown sort of like pigment to come through. On mattes and on like my natural lid, it's absolutely fine, but shimmers, it doesn't perform too well over the top of, so not sure if this is one that I would repurchase, but I'm not really an eyeliner person anyway, so that doesn't sort of bother me too much. But yeah, just thought I would note that just in case you wear a lot of shimmers and you're thinking of getting a brown liquid liner. And then the other item that's going to stay in my project pan until I've used it up, I have unfortunately only used it twice. This is my Peaches and Cream blue eyeliner in the shade Nile. I'm not going to draw another line on my chart to show the progress because, like I say, I've used it twice and I haven't sharpened it, so there is going to be no visible progress on this. But a beautiful eyeliner, lovely to add a little bit of like colour into my lash line. I don't really wear this on my lids anymore because it's not the best sort of colour for my complexion, but it is nice for just that little bit of pigment in the waterline. So there are 3 items that I'm going to roll out of my project pan. The first one is a foundation, and this is Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. I've got this in the shade 4.25. It's the foundation I have on today. And when this was first in my project pan, so at the beginning of the month, I was using a full pump of this, but that's too much for my skin now. And when I was doing that, I was having like sort of separation around here, around my nose and mouth. It was highlighting texture and it just looked really heavy. So what I do now is I pump out the smallest amount and just really apply it to my cheeks, blend in the foundation in my cheeks, and anything left over in my brush, I then go in on my forehead and then round my nose and sort of like on my chin. I try not to put anything like on my upper lip because I feel like it really does sort of like stick to any sort of texture there. So originally I was not liking how this kind of looked on my skin in terms of it highlighting texture and looking quite heavy, but now that I've changed up my technique, changed up how I'm using it, I really like it. It's so quick and easy to blend. It looks really beautiful and radiant. It's just a really lovely foundation. I have really started enjoying using this the past few weeks now that I've found a better way of applying it. So I used it 12 times, and I did think I'd used it more than that, but actually I had another foundation in my Shop My Stash, so I was kind of like alternating between the two. I don't have a foundation in my current Shop My Stash, so with my next project pan I will have a higher use of times that I wear a foundation because of that. So that one is being rolled out, as is my concealer, which I wore 21 times. I wore it quite a few amount of times. I also have it on today. The NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I've got this in the mini. I'm in the shade Madeleine. This is really good in terms of coverage. I feel like it does a good job of sort of helping to conceal my dark circles. However, it's not as fluid as I was expecting it to be. It is slightly heavy, so I definitely need a hydrating primer underneath this. When I have applied this over the top of skin that doesn't have a primer on, I've really kind of like noticed that it does look a bit heavy. So just kind of bear that in mind if you are gonna, you know, use this concealer. I think it's good, but I don't think it's an excellent concealer. So I have enjoyed using it, and I would repurchase it in the future, but it's not one that I would rush to repurchase. But with concealers, I do like trying new and different concealers anyway, so I'm not that bothered about it. But like I say, I do still like it, and I do think it does a good job. I have noticed as well, probably coupled with the fact I've used it 21 times, that when I take the wand out, there's not a load of product on the doe foot now like there used to be at the start of the month. So where this is a mini, I think I could get through this pretty darn quickly. If I was to keep this in my project pan, I'd probably say 2 months and I would be done with this, but I am going to roll it out and roll in another concealer. And then the last item that I am rolling out, I decided to work on an eyeshadow single. This is by MAC. This is in the shade Expensive Pink. I haven't worn it too many times because I do have my pan in every eyeshadow palette challenge going on as well. I wore it 4 times, but it is a beautiful coral shade. It's very sort of soft. It's a soft, shimmery pink orange coral shade. Very, very pretty. Very lovely for like the spring and summer months. So if I can remember, I will try to get this out a bit more in the upcoming months because it's a lovely shade for the slightly warmer weather. Very pretty, very flattering. And I've had these MAC eyeshadows for like 8 years, but the quality is still really good. So although I probably should throw these away, I don't want to because they still perform really well. Okay, so those were my updates on last month's project pan items. So I just want to kind of like recap the items that are gonna stay in the next update, because I am aware, because I'm kind of rolling things in and out, it does get a little bit confusing as to what is in my project pan. So currently in my project pan I have my Fenty powder bronzer, I have my Stila cream blusher, Kiko lip gloss, the peaches and cream blue eyeliner, and the brown liquid liner. I have an eyebrow pencil and the Vive lip liner. So that is 7 items, and I like to keep my project pan at 10 items. So there's going to be one more item that I'm going to roll in, which is going to stay until I have completely used it up. It is my NYX Plump Right Back primer. It's the primer I've got on today. It's a hydrating primer. I feel like it does a fairly good job. It's not too bad. It's not comparable to Bobbi Brown Face Base in my opinion. That one does a much better job, but the price points are kind of wildly different, so I'm not really kind of surprised by that. I have 2 primers in my collection and I don't really feel the need to have 2, so because this one came first, I'm going to work on panning this one. And this one has got a lovely, because it's a pump, it's got this lovely mechanism where the product just rises up and up and up, so that is excellent in terms of completely using up your item. And it's good as well to mark your progress and mark where you are. So this one will stay in until I've used it up, probably 2 to 3 months, and I should be done with this one. And then I'm going to roll in a foundation to work on this month as well. This one is going to stay in for a month, and this is my NARS Sheer Glow. It was my favourite foundation until I bought the L'Oreal Paris Tinted Serum, but I haven't used this in a little while, so I'm intrigued to see how this one performs in comparison to the L'Oreal one. But from memory, really lightweight coverage, really easy to build up the coverage as well, and a pleasure to blend and work with, and it looks really radiant as well. So I'm looking forward to getting this one out and using this one a bit more for the next month, along with the concealer, which is by Vive. This is the Modern Radiance Concealer. This has a really nice mousse texture, so where I've got 2 concealers now, I'm going to like alternate them month by month. So this will be the concealer I'll work on this month. Next month I'll go back to the NARS. Next month the Vive one again. So that will really help in me kind of regularly using my products. Okay, so that was my project pan update. So 3 empties, which I'm really excited about. Glad to have, I suppose, finally used up that NYX eyeshadow base. However, it is a fantastic product, so I am going to miss, you know, how that product performs. But yeah, very relieved to have finally used it up. It's been a long time coming. And then with the next update, I will be done with that NYX micro brow, so that will be at least 1 empty, and then looking forward to trying the other foundation and concealer for the next month and getting a good amount of use out of those 2 products. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're doing a project pan, please let me know the progress of yours down below. Always really interested to sort of like hear what you guys have to say with things like project pans and shop my stashes and stuff. So please let me know how yours is going, and I will see you again very soon for my pan in every eyeshadow palette update video. Bye guys.